Hello, Doug Brown again, Captain Duck. Today I'm going to talk about gas carriers, LPG carriers. 1982, I was selected by the New Zealand Line to be one of the first chief officers for a ship called the Tarahiko, which was designed to carry liquid petroleum gas from New Plymouth, Taranaki, to various ports to be opened up, especially for that, terminals around the rest of New Zealand. That was 1982. But before that, I had to go to the UK and do some sea time and some learning experience on an LPG carrier. And it was called the Harriet, this LPG carrier. It was an English registered ship, British registered ship. And I joined her. I think it was in South Wales. And our first trip was from South Wales around the English Channel, and then up to one of the ports on the north eastern side of England. And okay, I was just a supernumerary officer on board, and I got my cabin. And the first night, it was quite a horrific experience, because we got around past Land's End, and I think I went to bed about midnight, and it was quite calm, but there was a dense fog, and the ship's horn was going off every 2 minutes as the requirement was, and then about 2 o'clock in the morning, horror of horrors, the alarm bells went off. And as I got out of my cabin, the cabin started to fill with smoke. And alarm bells were going off. And then the ship's second mate brushed past me. He was donning a full, face mask with oxygen gear and stuff. And he brushed past me. And God, gee, I didn't. So I went up to the bridge, and what's happening? And I was told, just stay out of the way, the ship's on fire. The engine room had gone on fire, and it was quite a bad one. They'd stopped the ship, and she was fully loaded with something like 3,000 tons of liquid petroleum gas. And if that blew up, it was enough to blow up the whole of the English Channel. Never mind just the ship. And it was quite hair-raising, because there was smoke everywhere, but luckily the engineers they abandoned the engine room, and all ships have what they call a smothering chemical smothering apparatus, or CO2, but they have one or two dozen great big containers or cylinders of CO2. And the idea is to close up all the vents and the intakes going to the engine room, and all the doors, obviously. And then they would release the CO2, and that would put the fire out, because it smothers the oxygen, removes the oxygen, and as everybody knows, the fires need three things. It needs heat, oxygen, and more fuel. So it was engine room fires are the most common fires on any ship. About 85% of fires on ships are engine room fires started, and this one was put out, thank goodness, because I was very, very worried. And it took about 10-15 minutes, and they gradually, they flooded the whole engine room with at least half of their supplies of CO2, carbon dioxide, and the fire went out, and they gradually they released the doors were open, and they got the vents in, and there was a lot of damage. And they were unable to get going again, so the tug had to come and to tow us into Portsmouth, and and then had to get all fixed up. So that was my first experience on a LPG ship, and I thought it was my only and last one, but it was quite hair raising at the time. Okay.